Iran will enter nuclear talks with the Trump administration feeling emboldened, and that headline from the New York Times tells you everything you need to know about where we are right now. Here's the situation. Iran and the United States just reached a preliminary agreement to pause their war. And almost immediately, Iranian politicians, generals, and clerics across the political spectrum came out calling it a victory. The Speaker of the Iranian Parliament, Mohammad Bagher Ghalibaf, who was central to negotiating the deal, posted on social media that Iran had taken a major step toward final victory. A chairman of one of Iran's most powerful oversight councils said Iranians had shown a renewed spirit of resistance and defeated U.S.-Israeli plans to overthrow the Islamic Republic. Now, you might be wondering how exactly is this a victory for Iran? The country lost a significant number of its top political and military figures. Its stockpile of ballistic missiles took a serious hit. Its economy, already under pressure, was squeezed even further by a naval blockade. So what's going on? Well, the key is what Iran's leaders are comparing this outcome to. President Trump had previously declared his goals in starting this war as total and complete victory for the United States and unconditional surrender for Iran. The terms of the agreement fall well short of that. And in Washington's own language, Trump has now described Iran's current leadership, including Supreme Leader Mojtaba Khamenei, as pragmatists, even calling them rational. That framing is diplomatic gold for Tehran. There's also something very telling in the details of the deal itself. Iran is agreeing to allow shipping through the Strait of Hormuz, which sounds like a concession, except that's just a return to how things were before the war. But here's the twist, Iran is now indicating it intends to charge ships for passing through the strait. That's something it never did before. And the fact that it feels it can demand that now tells you a lot about how much leverage Tehran believes it holds. Mirzad Boroujerdi, an Iran expert at Missouri University of Science and Technology, put it plainly, Iran is certain to be emboldened by this deal. I cannot recall another instance in which Iran suffered such serious military setbacks yet emerged with what could be considered a diplomatic victory. And the internal power dynamics inside Iran have shifted too. Some of Iran's more pragmatic figures were killed during the war, while the Islamic Revolutionary Guards Corps has consolidated its grip on power. What that means for the upcoming negotiations is an open question, but a military establishment that's now even more powerful may not be eager to make serious concessions. Iran's negotiators have even pushed to include Lebanon in the agreement, insisting that the fighting between Israel and Hezbollah be part of the deal. Iran says it got that. Israel says its forces are staying put. That contradiction alone captures how complex this moment is. The big issue is what happens to Iran's nuclear program, how much enriched uranium it gets to keep, what sanctions relief it receives. None of that was resolved. All of it gets punted to a new round of talks expected to begin Friday in Switzerland. That's where the real test comes. With Iran walking into those negotiations on what it sees as a diplomatic high, its negotiators are unlikely to feel pressure to give ground on the hard stuff. And as Boroujerdi noted, if tensions in the Strait of Hormuz have cooled by then, Trump may find it much harder to extract the concessions he's looking for. Iran went to war, absorbed serious blows, and is now sitting down at the nuclear table believing it has the upper hand, and whether that confidence is warranted or illusory is the question that will define what comes next.